1941, a state of war.
What General Weygand has called the Battle of France is over. The Battle of Britain is about to begin.
We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields and in the streets, we shall fight in the hills.
Due to YouTube's recent rule changes that hinder firearm-related channels like this one, my videos going forward on YouTube will be limited information. This includes answering any "where do I get one" or "how much" related questions. If you would like to see the more informative version of this video, please view it on my Rumble page by searching the Mosin Crate on Rumble or clicking the link in the top comment below. Hey guys and gals, this is Alden for the Mosin Crate, and I've got some really cool Finnish surplus handguns to review here in this video. These just got imported. Got Finnish used Lugers and Finnish Lahtis. So getting right into it, all of these came out of a museum in Finland, and this is something that's been in the works for over a year now. It's taken a long time to get these here. They're finally here. We're going to go through them and just kind of give you guys an idea of what they look like. First grouping here, there was only about 7 or 8 Lugers that got imported. The top row, all of those are going to be in 9mm. The bottom row of 3 are all going to be in the original 7.65. Some of them are marked SA, some of them are not. And these were purchased from the Germans in the 1920s and 1930s. And they ended up being used mostly by frontline troops. You can see the Tikka barrel in that one. Most all of these are going to have a replacement Tikka barrel. They were used heavily by frontline troops in the Winter War, so 1939, 1940, and then the Continuation War, which all of us know as World War II. And they were used extremely heavily. I believe they only imported about 8,000 or 9,000 of them from Germany officially. There's probably more than that, but officially I think the number is around 9,000. And their plan was to replace them with the Lottie L-35 pistol, which got some of those to show you in this review video here in just a few minutes. They only made about 9,000 of those too, so they never really had a whole lot of handguns. As you can see, the ones that they had, they used and abused. It's just like pretty much any Finnish Mosin Nagant you've ever seen. Beautiful mag plate on that one, by the way. They're usually mismatched. Same case with these. Don't expect an all-matching gun, because if they needed a part to replace, they replaced the part. They weren't really concerned with restamping the number to match the rest of the gun. And I would call these good shooter grade condition, which means cosmetically they're a little bit on the rougher side of good, but fully functional. And then getting into the L-35 Lahtis. So these were only produced from about 1938 through about 1945, I believe. And they only produced about 9,000 of them. The first 6,700 or so were military, and the ones after that were commercial sales. All of these, every single one that I'm going to review in this video, these are all military examples. And you can tell that by the serial number, but you can also tell that by the stock adapter on the heel of the frame there, which the commercial models did not have. And all of these are in 9mm Luger as well. So again, these are all in 9mm, 8-round magazine. The magazines slide in and out super easy. These are really well-made guns. They are heavy, but with that heaviness, you usually get really good accuracy with them. You got a hill release there for the magazine. And they also have fantastic triggers. I have not seen a single one that does not have a very nice trigger on it. And they made these in 4 series, technically 5 series. So Series 0, they had about, that was around 1938. They only made about 100 of those for field testing. And then Series 1, that's going to be serial number range anywhere from 1100 to 3700, which all of these in this first group that we're reviewing here fall within that range. Those would have been made from the Winter War all the way through around June of 1941. And then they had a Series 2, and those were made from mid-1941 to early 1942, and those serial numbers range from around 3700 to 4700. And then they had a Series 3, and those were made from spring to late 1944, and the serial number range for those that were military went up to about 6800. And then there's also the Series 4, and again, Series 4 are commercial pistols. Though they won't have the stock adapter in the back, and they're going to have a serial number anywhere from 6800 to 9300, somewhere in there. But again, all of these are military. At some point in their life, most Lotties had, especially during the war, or wars, excuse me, had high pressure submachine gun ammo fired through them. And this would eventually crack the slide and lead to problems with the guns. So what they did post-war is they would replace the slides with a beefier slide like this. So all of these have the beefier replacement slide on them. And this is a Series 2. Both of these are Series 2. But that is something you have to remember when you're dealing with Lotties, is you really need to research what ammo to use in them. Don't go firing plus P ammunition in there. You will break the slide. You will break something eventually. And you may be able to put plus P in there and fire it 500 rounds without any issues, but eventually it is going to cause problems. They're just not designed to fire high pressure ammunition. So be sure that you research that before you fire one. And this next grouping here, these are all the Series 3. So these would have been made in early to late 1944. And they've got those beautiful synthetic grips. I don't think they're Bakelite, but they look a lot like Bakelite. And you don't see these imported much anymore. You may see a handful come in every once in a while, but the last time I saw these get imported in this kind of number, or in this number rather, was a few years ago, and I haven't seen any since. And these things are very pricey when you look them up, guys. Make sure you go on GBroker. I'm saying GBroker on purpose to avoid the YouTube censors, but if you go on there and search Finnish Lottie, you'll see how expensive these things are. They're very pricey. So if you just want a Lottie and you don't really stomach spending the money, going on GBroker and finding one there, or going to an auction or somewhere to get one, and you don't stomach that price or can't stomach that price, the Swedish M40 Lottie is pretty darn close to the Finnish Lottie, and they're usually quite a bit cheaper because I think they made upwards of 100,000 of those. So comparatively speaking, they're a lot more common than these, and they're a lot more budget friendly. So that's a good alternate option if you are in the Lottie market. And we've got some Swedish holsters here. And each one of these has a holster. Holsters are in meh condition. Does come with a magazine loading tool, which is cool. It also doubles as a screwdriver for the grip screws. Got a cleaning rod, a magazine, a second magazine. So these guns have a total of 3 magazines if you include the one in the pistol. And these last two were just interesting because this one's fully functional and is actually a Series 1. So you can see there from the serial number, but it is missing the, I think it's called a dust cover or a frame cover on the front there. Again, it's fully functional. It's pretty much just cosmetic unless you're planning on tossing it in the mud or something. But that piece is missing. And then we've got an SA marked Luger here. And this one is missing the ejector there, which, you know, isn't too hard of a part to find, but it is missing. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Trigger guard. You'll see like an AE or an A. Generally 2 letters, so it'll be like an AS.